Let's go to the completely opposite end of things. I wanted to play this because, first of all, last week, and it was a bonus, which is on our new YouTube channel. I don't know if it's been released exclusive to YouTube right now. It'll be released on iTunes down the road, but this is for everybody. I interviewed Kaniela Ing. He's a great candidate. I think that, and there needs to be, obviously, it's like if you have a contingent of these, it helps AOC be who she wants to be. It helps people like Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna and Barbara Lee be who they are. I think he's the real deal, and I also think this ad is really good. And I don't know if you've seen this.
I have seen it.
Okay, but I wanted a Bree take on this ad.
Let's watch it again.
Let's watch it, and then we'll go to Bree for a color commentary.
Every month, I pay 60% of my income just for rent and student loans. If you're making under $93,000 a year in Hawaii, then you're considered low income. When I was 11, my father passed away. I worked in the pineapple fields to help my mom pay the bills, and later at Walmart and hotels to pay my own. Most of my classmates, my best friends, moved to the mainland, unable to afford life here in Hawaii. We're surrounded by military bases spending trillions of dollars waging for-profit wars, but we have an affordable housing crisis. Our children are moving away, and healthcare is somehow a luxury. It's time for a new era of democratic leadership. My name is Kaniela Ing, and that's why I'm running for Congress. It's easy to blame Republicans, to blame Trump for our problems, but we have to look in the mirror. Who controls our state? Who's controlling our party? The people of Hawaii demand housing for all, Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, free college and student debt cancellation now. The majority of people in Hawaii and across the nation support these ideas, but big donors don't. I'm the only candidate in this race who isn't taking corporate money. As a kid, I remember my grandma telling me stories of my ancestors, how they preserved our environment and took care of each other. She told me how our people were exploited by colonizers and forced to work on plantations. The people of Hawaii have come together and risen up before, and we can do it again. If my great-grandparents didn't stand up to the corporate establishment of their time, I would still be on the plantation. It's time for us to stand up, not just to leave a better future for our children or our grandchildren, but to live a better life ourselves. A Hawaii for the many is possible, but no one will give it to us. We have to take it together. Vote Kaniela Saito Ing on August 11th.
It's an amazing ad. Thoughts?
I think it's great. The ad was produced by the same people who produced Ocasio-Cortez's viral ad, and I think they are really onto something.
The means of production, and they're an outfit. They're brand strategy people, but they're members of Detroit DSA, and they want to bring high quality for real ad making to legit for real candidates.
Yeah, it's extraordinarily dope of them, and I don't know what the background is of this ad, but for Ocasio-Cortez, she wrote her own copy, and you really felt that came across, and I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case in this as well. And yes, part of it is the ad making, but part of it is these candidates who are just so willing to say the thing, who are willing to talk about colonizers and working on plantations and student debt burdens and 60% of your salary going to paying off your student loans and your housing. And it's just, you can't, there's no ethical rebuttal when you message in a way that is so connected with people's lived experiences. If you just hold a mirror to the struggles that everyday people have and say this is a problem and it shouldn't be, we should fix it, there's no response to that other than we shouldn't fix it, which is facially awful. Right? So you can't contend with these, like, there's no,
well,
that's why they sing.
Well, it's a very interesting Well, I mean, this is the kind of great advantage and real brutality of our moment, I think. It's like, in a really positive sense, I think a lot of bullshit ideology is getting stripped away, and even something like this ad does that. And it leads to precisely what you're talking about. And then conversely, then the answer is like, yeah, there is no. And that no is, we have power and you don't. And that means that the stakes are very intense. And that is why, you know, obviously I care a lot, you know, sort of about this issue, but like, that's why I do cover Lula so much. I mean, you know, as an example of like, that is on the other side of some of these fights, right? Like, is just the pure raw assertion of, we're going to keep a situation where you can't afford houses, where there's hunger, where so on, because that benefits a certain market logic. And that is the, you know, that's what's, in a positive sense, that's what's getting put on the table. And that's incredibly promising, but it's also...
Yeah, I've heard that he's facing quite a bit of local opposition, more kind of an unprecedented amount.
Well,
from
they see it now.
The Democratic Party there, and there were some kind of not particularly significant, but kind of unforced errors in terms of his his tax filings or something like that, with the starting his
nonsense,
campaign that they're really trying to exploit. So. Power to him. I hope he is able to make it through.
Me too. Very much so. I think he's legit. David.
Oh, I mean, I've been really inspired watching this campaign just in general. I mean, to see somebody actually talking really honestly about imperialism and U.S. militarism. I mean, I was so excited when I saw Cortez talking about, you know, the working class and these kind of struggles. And, you know, seeing this kind of paradigm shift is so huge, because even something like working class, like that's something that's always been sort of like contested territory that the right uses. Like, this is so clear where his politics lie. And it's just like, it's a really exciting opportunity to think that we're able to talk like that. And you know who that we is in that ad, which I also felt was, you know, really powerful.
I had a very positive impression of him and knew people around him I trust, or else I wouldn't have given him a platform. But at the end of the interview, it's like, you know, you give it sort of like 4/5 for them, 1/5 for you. And obviously I care profoundly, but like, I know he's going to say Medicare for all. I know he has this social housing proposal, which I think is incredibly important and ahead of the curve. And then I gave my like last for me, which is like, well, how does this apply globally? And of course, I talked about what's happening in Latin America, which is of great concern to me. What is your position on Palestine? You know, and more broadly, U.S. militarism, because I actually think that's going to become a practical question quicker than we realize as well, because, you know, that's another thing that has historically undermined democratic socialism and uprisings of any kind is you know, and particularly in underdeveloped countries. And he was like, I gave him an opening to at least stake some decent positions, and he took the ball and just like ran through the yard line. It's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna need to slash military spending. We need worker solidarity globally. Like, I was like, oh, all right, nice. Like, I already liked you, but great.
And I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have our doubts about, you know, running candidates in the Democratic Party and all the dangers that come with it, and then you see things like this develop, I mean, that's a very, you know, exciting development.